We were never rattled, ever, because we're always in the moment, always in the present, always extremely calm, always looking at the reality of the situation and not letting our emotions cloud our execution. I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else. Stone cold killer. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me. For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time.
Up before the dawn, ready for Judgment Day. A lethal underdog, walking on to make 'em pay. Woke up feeling dangerous. That stuff so contagious. We got 10 toes down, so let the haters say what they say.
If you ain't Argent Brown, you don't matter anyway. Woke up feeling dangerous. Next time
We got that dog check. Found it a way you make the right bet. If you're doubting our game, we give our last breath. One more play, and we'll make another name. We're ready for Judgment Day. Against the world. My city is on the brink. Tonight we're about to go. I'm hearing the crowd begin to rise in stereo. Sky's bringing on and getting in off the lake. Thunder rolls. And all the people shouting out a name. Cleveland, born to fight and believe in. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Cleveland against the world. Watch my city rock. Feel my city roll. Watch my city rock. We go Cleveland, born to fight and believe in. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. We are Cleveland, born to fight and believe in. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Every boy and girl. Against the world.
What is going on, everybody? This is NFL Week 3, the Wednesday show, with your host, me, Mike Killy, and as always, my co-host, Mike Ristano, at Bonzo1273. You can find him on Twitter. Mike, welcome back to the Wednesday show. How you doing?
Good. It's a nice fall evening. I've been thinking about this all day.
It's the
for
first
our
day of fall.
it really is, and I've been thinking about this since I woke up. And you know where I'm going with this. I'm sure some of our listeners know where I'm going with this, but it's the infancy of fall right now,
It's early fall.
and we're 1-1 in the infancy of fall, and we're hoping by the deep fall we're looking really good and we're making a playoff run. So, with that being said, where's my camera? My background's killing me.
Oh,
here.
you got to put it right there. You go.
There it
Victory
is.
Wednesday.
Happy Victory Wednesday, everybody.
Cheers. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Mario G's in house. Mike R is here. Cleveland BCI. Ryan Burlow and Mark Schoen so far in the house. We are giving away a Victory Monday mug today. Our first official, it's the official one too. It's the Cleveland Clothing Co. Official. Oh, David Evan Smith is in the house all the way from Australia. I hope everything's going well down there, man. I hear things got crazy in Australia right now. B Scrizzle's in the house. It's going B.
Hey,
So yeah, so we have a fun show planned for you today. We're going to be going through the PFF scores that I still have not looked at.
yeah, you are good at that.
It's killing me.
Yeah, and for everybody out there, you know, he's not BSing. Like, I mean, he has not looked at the scores. He takes this very seriously, and does not want to know until we're live on the Wednesday show.
Exactly. Mike will give me hints. I ask him for hints, but do not give me the score. And so he gives me some like subtle hints, but it gets me. It's the driving factor to the Wednesday show. I had a long day of work, a lot of stuff going on. My wife is at gymnastics with my older daughter. I'm here at home with the younger daughter. I got to put her away, and all the energy is like, I'm gonna get the PFFs. The jersey. I guess we were gonna do the jersey reveal. That was supposed to be really exciting, but the Browns tweeted it out, so it took a little bit of the wind out of our sail. You know,
A little bit. But with that being said, I think I threw it out there last week just because we knew that might happen.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's a big one. So if you want to go ahead and share it for everybody in chat, why not?
Yeah, so it's the 46 throwback, white head to toe, white socks, white pants, and the pretty cool, which I like the 1946 jersey. It wasn't my favorite when it first came out, but it's growing on me.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I don't mind the uniforms. Ara's in the house. What's going on? Ara dropping the Wednesday emoji. By the way, anybody who joins the channel as a joined member, you get access to all the little emojis, which is fun. I feel the same way about the new 1946 jerseys.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. This is going to be like, it's almost going to be like, the 1999, like Tim Couch jerseys and that were out that they had the patch. And it was like, that's the official one. And you're only going to get it. I would assume they're only going to sell them this year. And then they're going to come off. They're going to go to the warehouse and that's it.
Yeah.
So this might be the year to get them. And I want to ask you this because I know, and actually you kind of showed me one earlier today, which got me thinking about it. Who will be the next Browns player that you will buy their jersey? Which jersey will it be? Which like variation, and why?
So I just bought and I wore it to the game the other day, but I bought the Brown Jeremiah jersey. And I love it. And I actually didn't buy it. The wife bought it for me as a present a couple months ago. And I went online to get a white one, and I was toying back and forth with, do I want to go the 1946 route, or do I just want to get the, the regular white one? And so I decided the regular white, and I wanted it to be Jock again. But the issue is, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you today, but the issue is he's not listed in the player drop down anymore. And I believe it's because of the how many letters in the hyphen.
Oh, I know who it is now.
And
This has been a problem, by the way, all like for a while with this particular player.
yeah, and so I was like, all right, fine. He's not in the drop down. I'll just add the, I'll add the name to where, you can put the name and the number. And then right out of the gate, you can't add the hyphen, so you don't know what you're getting. And then on top of it, you're only allowed 10 letters. So even without the hyphen, you get to Cora Mo, and you can't get the ah. So I'm in a holding pattern. My good friend Mike Ped on
could you
Twitter,
call him?
Well, that's what he was saying. He was saying, if I give the pro shop a call, they should be able to make one. But then he's really big into I think it's the elite. I think that's what it's called. Like the one that's as close to what they wear as possible.
That's like the $369 one.
It is. And I thought about going that route. Because I figured, well, if I'm going to have to make it, I might as well go, the extra mile.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then, so I'm sort of in a holding pattern there. And then I showed you today, I was toying around with, maybe getting the 1946 and putting my Twitter handle on the back. So when I'm walking around the tailgate, people are, oh, there he is.
Could you put the @ on it?
No, you can't. You can't.
That would be even better.
Yeah. So
like Slim Dog does. He's got the Slim Dog jersey.
yeah, we were hanging out on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, just like that.
So, I was thinking, because I bought this, like the fake one from China.
Yeah.
I bet we could get, I'm almost 100% positive they'll do it. If you just reach out to them and say, I want X number and then X player, right? So like, imagine like what somebody, I don't know if you saw this. Somebody tweeted out, and I couldn't remember who it was, but somebody tweeted, I thought it was amazing. Somebody was walking around with an orange Body Calhoun jersey.
Hey, you know what's funny? Speaking of it, he's from Delaware.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he does a lot in the community, actually. But
Well,
yeah, fun fact.
just funny that somebody was rocking that particular jersey, and it got me thinking, how fun would it be to just make, just random players, from like the 2000 and 2010s, and just wear those jerseys,
Yeah.
like a Lee Bodden, or like God.
How about here's one for you, Chris Ogbayane, right? Is that how you is that how you say his name? I can't even. Right, something like that. Ogbayane.
I know who
you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce his name either. Like
Chris
just like some fun random players. That would just be, it could be like $19. Like why not? There's just a bunch of them that I would totally wear, like a Montrell Hardesty.
Oh wow! Now you're.
I'm just like pulling out any
pulling them out.
random player off the top of my head now. I just think it would be awesome to do that. But my next jersey, which I think I'm going to buy the 46 kit, is going to be Wyatt Teller.
That's a good one.
I've been thinking about how to do it. Am I going to do the brown one? I have
what his score was this. I didn't look at him, so you brought him up. He'll be our first target.
Dennis Northcutt, Ryan Burlow says. Northcutt was more of a star, though. I mean, he was like the closest thing to a star that we had back then. I think, the other guy, a couple other ones that I think would be funny. Yeah, do you remember when we had Andre Davis and he put his whole Andre Davis in the back of his
Yep.
jersey? Yeah, so I went to college with him. And
Really?
yeah, I was at Virginia Tech when he was there. And he just had Davis on the back of his jersey. Then he goes to the pros, and I mean, I just thought it was the weirdest thing in the world that he put his entire name on the
it's
back of
bizarre.
his uniform.
That's not cool.
No, it's so weird. But
Hey, you know what I did think of, Mike? Going back to jerseys and stuff. I forgot, but I did create a white Jedrick Wills, and that looked kind of cool. I wish he would. Yeah, I wish he would have took Joe Thomas's number, just because that 73 is near and dear to my heart.
yeah,
But I could live with the 71 jersey. It looked pretty cool.
Jedrick's a cool guy. I've had a couple interactions with him just over gaming because he's really good friends with Cleveland Cam, and so he's a really good guy. I would say I've never owned an offensive lineman jersey before, so
Really?
I guess if Joe Thomas would have been one that I would have.
I do own a couple of JTs.
I don't own any of them. I actually went through, like when I pulled out the tie rod for last weekend, I was looking through all of my jerseys. My favorite like random one is still my DeQuell Jackson.
Nice.
That's a good one. And I swear to God, I have an orange Lee Suggs and I can't find it. I have a Lee Suggs somewhere and I really, really want that one. I'm going to have to go on eBay and buy it again.
You got to do a deeper dive in that jersey box.
Or maybe, what if I make a 1946 Lee Suggs?
I don't know. I like your Wyatt Teller idea.
For the
Batonio. Batonio would be cool.
Well, yeah, because you could. I mean, I guess you could make any player you want, right? Because you could just put on whatever you want in the jersey. But I was thinking just like buy the Chinese one for $19.
Oh, I got you. You're the novelty cheap route.
The meme jerseys. Yeah, but I want to go with the Wyatt Teller. I think I'm going to do the 46 in 77.
That'd be cool.
I'm pretty sure I could reach out to his wife to get him to sign it. I'm not like really big into signing things.
Yeah.
Though I don't really care like about, and I'd feel weird then wearing it and washing it. I'd be like, I'd feel like I had to put it on the wall, and I don't know, like I want to wear it. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to do that. But yes, I the 46 I only own. Do you own a 46 yet?
No, I don't. Honestly, I wasn't a big fan at first, and it's only recently that I've changed my tune a bit, more so seeing it in person on, like on the site and whatnot. It's just okay, but it pops when you're right next to it.
See,
as weird as that sounds.
My problem, no, I don't think it's weird. I think it these new jerseys to me really pop, like in person, 100%. And the orange fashion one of Nick, it's my favorite jersey I've ever owned.
Yeah, I did see you in it. That's a cool one.
It is legitimately awesome. I could wear it all the time. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to my dad has his Baker Color Rush he was wearing this weekend.
Yep, I did see that.
I think my mom has the Baker Color Rush. I have it. I don't know if my wife, I bought her the Mayfield, but it was the Mayfield Al Lerner era with the AL on the shirt.
Yeah.
So it was like the Brady Quinn era, but Mayfield that they had on the store. And it was like there was a crazy discount. So I bought it for her one day, which is the closest thing to the current jerseys, that we were wearing back in the day.
Yeah.
When they had the ugly ass, like when I put on that Tyrod one this weekend, it felt disgusting wearing it. Like, I don't know how they felt comfortable, happy wearing those jerseys. Hey, Super Chat comes in. DF Sports. I'm watching from home. Sick for my second vaccine shot. Had a girl who I thought could come, could be something, ghost me. Thanks for cheering me up with the team of the Browns. Hope OBJ will be back and effective. Sorry to hear that, DF Sports.
Yeah. You'll be good. I got a little sick after my second one, but You'll by tomorrow morning you'll wake up and the girl will be a memory, and rightfully so, just as well as much as those symptoms are. So you'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Don't
Hang
s-
tight.
Don't sweat it, DF. And by the way, everybody who happens to be on here, DF Sports has his own YouTube channel, and he talks about Browns and he talks about the NFL. He's a good guy, and I would highly recommend everybody head over to just give him, since he's not feeling good and he got ghosted. Everybody who's in chat, do me a favor and Mike a favor, and go over to DF Sports. I'm saying for you, Mike. I would assume you're cool with that. Go over to DF Sports YouTube channel and subscribe to him, please. Help the kid out. Mary's in the house. Hambone's in the house. Mid's plugs here. Let's go. Mary says she has a white Hillis jersey. She doesn't regret it, but she doesn't wear it too much.
Now let me ask: do you have the white Hillis jersey? My wife has this one that has like the gems or the rhinestones on it.
Oh,
I think she wore it once, and then he went to that wedding or whatever it was, and got suspended, or he hurt himself, and then that was the end of the ride.
yeah. I don't know what the deal. And now he had his own. He has a podcast now, I think, or maybe even a video podcast. I put him in his a little clip of his podcast in my end of year video last year. And I reached out to him. I said, "Hey man, would you want to come on the show and everything like that?" He never responded. So I don't know if I wasn't big enough at that point where I could actually get a player guest. I don't know. But
Hey, look at this. I reach in my bag of tricks.
oh well, I think I saw it there for a second. You might have to turn it just ever so slightly. The
There it is. There it is.
PS3 Hillis.
I have the posters around somewhere.
That's amazing.
Probably in between two cardboard, because I was keeping them for safe keepings for when I was gonna frame it. Which, yeah, no.
Matty B, I can't remember what his podcast is called. I would say probably just Google it or look him up on Twitter, and I think he's got it in his bio. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. Peyton Hillis. I was thinking about the jerseys I had growing up. So I had I think I had the Metcalf and Kosar, obviously, and then my dad got me when Bernie left and went to Dallas that Christmas. He got me the I want to say it was number 18. Dallas Cow is the only jersey I've ever owned that's not Browns in the NFL. The number 18 Kosar on the Cowboys
He got his ring.
jersey. And so the Browns were gone. When I was a freshman in high school, the Browns were no longer in Cleveland. And I went to my first football practice in the summer because we were doing like training and stuff. And I walked in wearing the Kosar 18, and the head football coach said, "Oh, are you a Cowboys fan?" And I said, "No, I'm a Browns fan." And he's like, "Well, why are you wearing a Cowboys jersey?" And I turned around and he saw the Kosar. So he yells over to the defensive coordinator, and he's like, his name is Coach Fell. He's like, "Coach Fell, get over here." Comes over. He's like, "Look at this kid." He's like, "So what? He's got a Cowboy." And then he said, "Turn around." Turned around, and he saw the Kosar, and he was like, "Okay," and because he was a diehard Browns fan.
That's funny.
So he and I got along great the entire time I didn't play defense. I played offense, but he still loved me, and I will never forget that guy because of it. Funny stuff. Well, hey, I can't wait any longer. I need the I need the score. I need the PFFs. I need them.
So I'll make sure, because I know we just went on a tangent last week, and we totally
we missed the offense.
We missed the offense. It was, so if you tuned in for the offense, we
Oops.
We totally blew you off on that one. I apologize, and it won't happen again. But so let's start where I know everybody wants to start, right? And with that being said, and I don't know how you didn't see anything all week about this, Mike. So good for you for I don't know, having blinders on, I guess. But anyway, there were a couple of wars that were going on because of this PFF score.
Okay.
I mean,
Offense or defensive player?
Defensive player.
Okay.
There were wars going on. One game doesn't make the guy, and so on and so forth. And I agree that one game doesn't make a player. However, if you're on my team and you're making progress, and now I see some more progress next week as well, hey, I'm all about that, because progress and making plays equals W's on the left side of the column. So, without further ado,
Well, before you say it,
you
go
ahead.
say it, I will tell you this, that I agree with you. By the way, I agree 100%. I think that's great if we can show progress. But one data point is good, but what I like to see is a trend. So we need
Correct.
to see positive. We need to see multiple positive data points that can then lead us to be able to say a player or really anything is improving, right? Because as we know in statistics, there are anomalies that happen really low, really high, and I think a lot of players could have a good game or just have an anomaly. So I am holding back some of my excitement just to wait to see what it is, because I think I know who you're talking about now. But let's hear it. Let's get it.
Let's do this. Let's have a little fun with it.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go back to week 1 for a second.
Okay.
We're not going to take too long on it, but I'm just going to read you across the grades from week 1. Okay.
Let's do it.
33.1 coverage grade, 76.9 tackle grade, which, as you know, is in the green, 63.4 on run defense, and 40.5 for the overall. All right.
This is the player, not the
This
team.
is the player.
One player.
Yep. This is one player.
Rip through them
And-
one more time.
Okay. And then I'm going to do one other thing too. So 40.5 overall, 63.1 run defense, 76.9, which is in the green on tackling, and a 33.1 in coverage.
And both you and I were both a little suspect on that tackling one
Yeah.
in game 1. So I'm curious about this.
So only because this guy is also top ranked for the week. This guy last week was a 29.6 overall, 62.7 on the run defense, 29 tackling, 54.4 on the pass rush, and 29.9 in coverage. Okay.
I'm thinking that's probably Malcolm Smith.
So if I had a prize to give, you just got it. The number 1 ranked defensive guy this week was Malcolm Smith. He turned those shoddy numbers into a 78.7 overall on defense, 48.9 on the run defense, 28.5 on the tackling, which is still 55.8 on the pass rush. And believe it or not, I mean, it was Houston, of course, but 91.3 on the coverage grade. So, I mean, that
I wonder if
came
the
out of nowhere.
interception was the thing that really bumped him through the roof on that.
Probably.
It would make sense, right?
Yeah, would make sense. He had 5 tackles, 1 assist, 3 missed tackles. And he had that pick.
You know what? You know what's great? And I mean, I used to always love, getting baseball cards when I was a kid and like turning them on the back and looking at the stats.
Yeah.
Because it really helps measure, how great a player is. And in those moments, I was a big Mets fan growing up, so I used to always love looking at, Dwight Gooden's 84, specifically then 85 Cy Young year, and then 86, which he was just dominant player, right? It validates you liking them as a fan, as a kid, because they were so good statistically. So I think it's really, really interesting now that PFF has come out and started doing these ratings on the things like tackling, right? It's not just a player grade. I think defense is somewhat difficult to actually give stats for because it's just tackles, missed tackles, but they actually grade it with judging eyes, which I
Yep.
just think is really, really interesting. So anyway,
And I think you know who number 2 is
uh,
at this point.
I think would that be Mac Wilson Sr.?
It would be Mac Wilson Sr.
Okay.
And hey, I'm going to give you the numbers. They look fabulous. But again, he was out there in Twitter world telling
Yeah.
all the haters, believe it. It happened. But anyway, neither here nor there. But anyway, yeah. So he finished with a 77.8 overall defensive score, 76.8 on the run defense, 78.5 on tackling. Obviously, way up, and 61.9. It's mediocre, but I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than his week 1 grade of 33.1. So what's kind of interesting, and again, we won't spend all day at on the defensive side of the ball, but what I found interesting was the and Elijah Lee had 11 snaps, by the way. But where I was going with that is the top 4 ranked players this week on defense were Malcolm Smith, Mac Wilson, Taki, and Elijah Lee. So, hey, if this is the trend and this is the way we're going to,
Are you saying those are the top 4?
those are the top 4 on defense. So if that's the way we're trending, you and I were just, and I mean, and the chat as well, we were just talking about it last week that, the linebackers were killing us and they played better, this week. Again, we got to remember the opponent, but hey, I'll take the progress any day of the week. But it's what I do find wild is like John Johnson played every snap last week, and he was the worst graded. He was the worst graded defender on the field. So, do I think that his performance was the worst? I don't. Denzel was second to last. Jock played 18 snaps. He had a 72.2 in run defense. His tackling grade was really poor, and I let me take a peek. It was a 28.4, and I just want to see. He had 2 tackles, and he had 1 missed tackle. So the law of averages there.
Okay.
Sort of bit him. So I guess basically what we're saying in some of these cases, the score is not, as bad as the play was. But overall, I mean, the linebackers played well. Delpit, 8th ranked.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how did Grant look?
He was 8th ranked, 64.4. He played 26 snaps. So that's good. So I'm sure we'll see him up in the 40s, maybe the 50s, this week. I was surprised that Jeremiah only played 18 snaps. But, I keep going back and forth with it. And you and I talked about it briefly when I was in that wind tunnel behind First Energy Stadium. But I feel like there's no urgency on the defensive side of the ball, starting with the defensive line. And we've talked about the soft coverage. You've got, great man guys, and you're playing soft zone a lot.
Yeah.
It is what it is right now. I hope that we start seeing some more continuity starting this week. These grades are nice surprise to see. Because they're making, I mean, it's right there. The proof's in the pudding. They're making strides. Now, let's see, what kind of strides we make this week. And I don't know. I mean, the fan in me wants to scream and yell about Joe Woods, and I do sometimes, but my personal opinion, after I've been thinking about this all week, and I was excited to share it with you. I am going to hold judgment until week 8 or 9 to see where the defense is at that point. Then all bets are off. I'm hoping that, the young guys are going to start having a ton of reps by the time we get to 8 and 9. And, we'll see you know, what, what we're looking like then. But that's my stance, and you can all hold me to it.
It's funny. 17 Squabble Lane just said, "Am I the only one who spent the entire Texan game looking for Restano behind the end zone? I'd miss full drives at a time and be like, had the Browns get the ball back." My dad and I were doing the same thing. We were like,
If-
and we were like, we're sitting there. We're like, are we gonna get? Are we gonna zoom in on him? We're gonna get.
All right,
We're like, I wonder if that's Restano. Is he right there?
so I won't be back until the Thursday night game, and I'll remind us on the way to that game as we count down the Wednesday shows. But I'll throw it out there now. If the best place that you can see me in the stands, that I could promise you'll see me, is when they're kicking an extra point or a field goal into the dog pound. If you look to the right of the left goal post,
Oh, so
inside
the H.
I would put my hands up, but it'll throw it off because right and left and whatever.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
But if you're hold your hand up. So if you got your hand up, yep. So, yep, that hand that Mike just, yep. If you look right to the right, inside, halfway up, that is your gauge to finding me.
Right here.
Yeah, because I'm 15 rows up. So I'll make sure that I give everybody the hat. Yeah, right where Mike's thumb is where you could find. And it's funny because every time I watch the playback and I pause it, if there was no net, I feel like my wife would catch the extra point like every time.
Okay.
Like she's like up there.
Nice. No, well, now I know where to look, and I will absolutely be looking next time. So you said you're not going to be back to the Thursday night game. Which game is that?
That is the Broncos. The way the schedule fell kind of sucked. And the only reason I say that is because I really wanted to go. I couldn't do back to back. As bad as I wanted to go to the Bears game, I got like 3 hours of sleep Sunday night. I must have fallen asleep at like 12-ish, and I had to be at the airport at 4. So I was wrecked all of Monday. But I really wanted to see the Cardinals. But the issue is the Cardinals they come in on a Sunday. Then the Broncos are the Thursday night. And then the Steelers are this 10 days later on Halloween.
You're coming back for the Halloween game, right?
So I'm coming back for the Halloween game. So I when I was weighing the two, I thought, what's going to be cooler? Going to the Cardinals game and seeing Kyler Murray, or the atmosphere of a Thursday night game? And having been to a couple of those, it was a no-brainer for me that I wanted to be at that one.
And so then you're taking off Friday?
Yeah, so I'll be off Thursday. We're flying in Thursday morning.
Cool. Yeah. I'm excited about this Steelers game. It's right smack in the middle of the year, and I think we will know what's going on with this season by then, and I think we're going to be okay. I am deeply concerned about this defense. Deeply. I think that Joe Woods is just squandering this talent. And I don't understand it, because you look at guys like Joe Johnson, who's had success other places. You look at Denzel Ward, who's been a Pro Bowler, right? It doesn't make sense that he's putting. It's weird. This scheme puts all the defensive line, the linebackers, and the defensive backs. It makes them all ineffective. I feel like it makes them like, you can't be an individual contributor. It's like, it's the unit and that's it. And if you're not, then you screw up. So look, and I'll give you some examples. The Chiefs game where Miles was going in and getting really close, but then creating that huge gap because he wasn't containing that huge gap where Pat Mahomes could slip away. Then you've got, and then the linebackers were in trouble. and then the defensive back. Like it all works on itself. So if you're not all working together in that zone, it ain't gonna work, right? And then you got, let's look at that Grant Delpit play, for example. You know, the biggest thing that I noticed in that Grant Delpit play before, because I wasn't watching Grant Delpit, I was watching Myles Garrett. And when I saw Myles Garrett dropping back into coverage, I was sitting there going, what is happening here? And then I understood now. He blitzed. Okay, so Joe Woods blitzed Grant Delpit. He brought the safety, but he didn't really blitz because he dropped Myles Garrett, your defensive end, back into coverage. So he compensated in coverage with Myles Garrett. So it wasn't even a true blitz in that capacity. And I also feel like the linebackers have to read. So in a zone type scheme like this, they have to be constantly reading. And I don't know if our linebackers at this stage have the ability to do that. Malcolm Smith clearly, but he's not the most athletic guy in the world at this point. JOK and Mac Wilson and Taki are still young guys. So I don't know if they have the full spatial awareness and game awareness to be able to do it. And they're not sending them through gaps. They're just sitting there making them read. Now, I thought Grant Delpit did an awesome job. That one play that keeps getting, the two plays that were being shown on Twitter a lot was the blitz, and then when he came up and he stuck the running back right in the middle.
Yeah.
Amazing
Cut
job.
his feet out. Yeah, it was
aggressive. It was aggressive. But we also, I mean, the sad thing about that was we had to have a safety come up and do that. Here's the problem with that play. Everybody's giving Grant Delpit a lot of credit for it. He made the decision to go in and attack the run. If another offensive coordinator sees that and says he is susceptible now to play action in a big way that will open up the house if he bites that hard again, right? So it's not a great thing if you have to have your safeties come up 15 yards to make a stop like that. It was a great stop, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't know if we should be celebrating it on the level that we're celebrating it. It's because it was Grant Delpit, because of the Achilles injury, because he's back for the first time. It was exciting, but really not the best thing. I'm just frustrated with this defense. They're giving up points like they gave up last year, and now I'm starting to believe that it wasn't personnel as much as it is this super passive scheme.
Well, it's so the beauty of the premium stat, and you're going to find out here in a second, as you're talking about that, you were focusing on the linebackers, and then I've been thinking about it all week, and I don't know if he's just trying to hide stuff and play vanilla right now. I don't know, but I mean, there's no tomfoolery. That's what I'm going to call it. There's no tomfoolery going on the defensive line. There's no shifting. There's no moving them inside. It's you could take Clowney and Garrett, for example. I mean, it's a wide rush every time. And what I found interesting, taking it back to the premium stats, is if you look at the Houston Texans pass blocking grades this weekend,
yep,
they're all green, except for the left guard. They're all green. All of them in the 70s, and a 63 and a 54. Taylor was a 78.7. David Mills, it was a 32.7 overall score. I think that two things. So obviously, good thing that there's no going backwards, but one of two things are going to happen. I think if Taylor doesn't get hurt, either we turn it on and start taking it up a notch, or we might have been in trouble, because I mean, he was, somebody even mentioned it a little bit earlier. I mean, he was 7 for 7 or something like that at one point. When he ran in, he was, you know, he was, I mean, untouched wasn't the word. I mean, there was no one out there. So, point being, you know, do they have some good guys on their offensive line in Houston? Sure, they got, you know, Laramie Tunsil, but he was the 63 I mentioned. But the rest of them, including the tight ends, blocked really well. So he's gonna, and by he, Joe Woods, he's gonna have to start, you know, getting a little bit fancy, if you will, and you know, move these guys around and try some different things, because I just don't I just don't see it. Where we are right now, it could be you know, troublesome down the road. But again, I'll give it 8-9 games. But I just wanted to throw that out there because we got the stats, and I thought, let me pull that up. I wonder what that looks like, and sure enough, yeah.
I think it's one of two things. Either this is like such, his defensive scheme is such advanced calculus that these guys have not figured it out yet. And, you know, kind of like Phil Jackson's triangle offense, right? Like it takes a long time to figure it out and master it, but once you do, it's lethal. Okay? Which could be the case because last year we didn't really have the best personnel, and this year we had 8 new starters to start the season. So maybe if it takes time to get, so you're making a very mature decision to give it 8 games.
Yeah.
Me, I am not a mature person who makes decisions. I make decisions about the Browns with my heart, not my head.
Yeah.
And what I see with Joe Woods is, I see, instead of calculus, I see kindergarten. I see no creativity on defense. So like what you pointed out with the defensive lineman not shifting. I see no blitzing, so nothing aggressive. I see guys like Denzel Ward and Joe Johnson being marginalized. You know, these are Pro Bowl caliber talent, and they're playing off. Well, I mean, obviously Woods is going to play back because he's a safety, but Denzel Ward playing 10, 15 yards back. So when Denzel Ward's getting you know, just shredded in the first half, it's because he's playing up. He's playing so far back. It's like he's a safety, not a corner. This is the same thing that happened in Kansas City. These guys, for whatever reason, are afraid to play bump, and they will not play man coverage. It's almost never. And it's like, we do not have a D or F level talent on defense. We have some of the best players. We have guys that should be competing for Defensive Player of the Year that are now not even in the conversation for any of this, because the scheme is making them ineffective, right? It's just, to me, I think it's tragic. I think Myles Garrett's trying his best. He's trying to get his sacks and everything, but if you can't, I understand Tyrod Taylor, he's a shifty guy. He's one of the faster, more, he's got a little shiftiness, okay? Right? Dexterity, as they say.
And he's
Dungeons
and he's accurate in the short game. And what better defense to play against, you know, besides our soft zone? I mean, that's why he was. I mean, he was complete in everything short.
Yeah,
and short meaning moving the chains.
Well, look at the New England Patriots with Mac Jones. I mean, he's got a rookie. He's got a higher completion percentage, leading the league in completion percentage. I thought that nobody would be able to beat Baker. It's because he's throwing little 4-yard passes. Yeah. Baker's at least throwing down the field, right? But my point is here that if it's one of two things. It's either they have not yet adjusted to the complexity to make this defense work, or this defense just sucks and they need to make a change. I find it to be very alarming that after 2 games, I already have a red flag on Joe Woods. I find that very alarming. The Kansas City Chiefs, scoring 33 points. That's to be expected. Holding them under 20 or under 30 points, I think would have been, somewhat of a miracle. But until Tyrod went out, when they had 14 points at halftime and Baker gets injured, it was looking like, I texted you. I said, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
This is a
I remember the text.
Nightmare scenario that we are experiencing right now. And it was almost like if we go down 0-2, that this Texans game this will be the one that we will refer back to as the one that cost us the playoffs. It's nobody was thinking that the Chiefs was a must win. And although I don't think the Texans is necessarily a must win, but it's almost it's like a mentality setting game, right? Now, on the flip side of it,
You're 0-2 in the division at that point.
Yeah,
in the AFC.
and we're the only one without a win.
Yeah.
It would have been bad. And just like kind of like the Ravens, if they would have gone down 0-2, if they didn't have that miracle where Edwards-Helaire just dropped the ball,
Yeah.
right? They just got a freaking gift, right? Because the Chiefs were going to win that game.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So they just survived. But at the end of the day, they got a W in the win column out of the Chiefs, which is just insane.
Tell me your thoughts. I'd like to know the thoughts in the chat as well. But for me, I think a turning point in our season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me preface it with this. Jarvis goes down. He is your most seasoned receiver, right? Without OBJ, as far as the wide receiver room goes, I know Schwartz had a big game last week, but as far as the room goes and Baker's trust, etc., the wide receiver room, when it's just him out there, runs through Jarvis. So Jarvis goes down, and now you're already missing OBJ. Now you're missing Landry, and now you've got Higgins, who's seasoned, which is okay, and you've got Peoples-Jones, who has a year under his belt, and then you're back to relying on a rookie. And I think Baker got very comfortable with Schwartz from 2 weeks ago, and rightfully so. He had a great game. And then
It's a good point, actually.
what almost was going to be the turning point and the end of our season came on a play by a rookie that we had to rely on at that point, who made a rookie mistake. And as rookies, they're going to make mistakes. I mean, that's the name of the game. That's how it works. There's not many guys that come into the league and set it on fire and make minimal mistakes. That's how you learn. But Schwartz almost cost us the season because he gave up on that play. It gets picked off. Baker makes the tackle. He's on the ground. He's holding his shoulder. I can't see which shoulder it is. And we're all looking at each other in the stands like, is that it? Like, are we done? Did this just happen?
And that would have been that. You're right. That would have been the entire season.
That was it. That was it. In for 4 minutes or however long it was before he came back out of the locker room. There was a weird feeling aura around everybody that in my group that we've known each other for several years, season ticket holders, that this can't be happening. But the overall point that I'm making is, there's some folks out there, and you guys know who they are, some more specific than others, that, Jarvis is replaceable, just so-and-so, you could just throw him in there and whatever. Well, guess what? We saw what happens when Jarvis went out, and then you got to rely on other guys. And a lot of times those other guys are rookies, and they're not ready.
Right.
They're still learning. And, point being is now there's no way that OBJ doesn't play on Sunday. I mean, unless, God forbid, knock on wood, he tweaks something, somewhere along the, during the week. Yeah. We won't hear about it.
Tomorrow and Friday are going to be light anyway. So
yeah, I agree. And I think that, the Browns have nothing to gain by, coming out tomorrow, the next day, Saturday, and saying, yeah, he's playing. No one's gonna know until Sunday morning. But I think it's very, very, very important that he's coming back, because we need that veteran presence in there.
Absolutely.
So Baker's not relying just on, some of these younger kids, but yeah, that was very scary for me. I saw the season flash before my eyes, and it was a reminder of as good as these young guys can be. Week one, his showing is it just one mental lapse and something else. It's a snowball domino effect, and
Yeah.
we were this close. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
my 2 cents.
when Jarvis went down in that first drive, when he got hit, I thought it was a shoulder because he went down, he got hit and he stayed down for a second, and I'm like, oh no, like because he went down, he hit the ground pretty hard, and then when he went into the locker, I think you were the one who said knee, and I'm like, they didn't say anything on TV at all, zero things were said. Maybe that they took him to the locker room, that might have been it, but there was no update, there was nothing. So either they didn't tell them or they didn't ask. Either way, I think it's criminal that they didn't do that because, he's Jarvis Landry. He's not like, even third string tight ends, they sit there and typically give you an update on
Right.
what's going on with them. We didn't get one,
No.
which is annoying. But, losing Jedrick last week for the whole game, then losing Jarvis this game.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and my dad and I talked about it in the pregame show, and I know we talked about it before the season starts, and it was just like, God, knock on wood, let's just stay healthy. And one of the problems I think we have so many stars and so many critical players and named players in every position that when one gets hurt, it feels worse.
Yeah.
And I think that Higgins is definitely serviceable, but he's not Hall of Famer. And I think Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham are Hall of Fame. If they're not definitely they at least Hall of Fame talent, skill wise. So to not have them out there was what it actually hurt. And I think in the Chiefs game, I think not having Odell Beckham, we have Odell Beckham, that might have been just enough to have won that game. Then on top of it, you look and say, when was the last time you saw Odell Beckham take a slant over the middle and get the ball knocked out of his breadbasket, like what happened to DPJ? So it's like little things like that these guys, when you're a veteran, how to get hit, what to do. OBJ wouldn't have short armed that interception. He would have done. He would have at least knocked it down and taken a shot, right? So, but I think you made a great point that it wasn't just the fact that it was an interception and it was a really bad time to throw an interception.
Yeah.
But the fact that then it led to Baker being hurt, and no matter what, like as we saw today with the tweet from Trotter, Baker's not anywhere close to 100%.
No.
With that shoulder. The good thing is non-throwing. If it would have been throwing, see ya.
Yeah, we would have been weeks.
Yeah,
weeks, at least weeks.
Weeks.
Yeah.
And then who knows? I mean, the good thing is, like, we don't have the toughest schedule in the beginning here, but I don't want to see Case Keenum out there. I saw enough of him in the preseason to go, this isn't the guy that we want to have. I'm not going to get excited to wake up on Sunday going, Keenum. It's just, if he has to come in for a couple plays, I'm fine with that, but not anything more than that. Right? So, but
after he got hurt too, Stefanski even came out and said it. And I think it was in his press conference or somewhere that after he came back in, he tailored the game plan to make sure that he could minimize any type of quarterback hit. So
other than Baker taking off and running for a touchdown, it's like, Baker plays like he's in college. He plays like, I'm just going to make things happen. And I think that gets him in trouble a lot of times too. Like, there's no way he should have taken a shot like that. There's no way he should have done that. The pads that quarterbacks have aren't padded to the point like a defensive player. They're almost there for show. Like they're there for maximum agility, not for padding to take a shot. and he learned a lesson. He had a big boy hit him, and he better not do that again. And thank God it was not his throwing shoulder.
And you know what? Even so, I mean, obviously, I mean, if it's his throwing shoulder, it's curtains. But I don't think that enough could be said about the grit and toughness of that kid,
Yeah.
Baker. Like, I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that dislocate a shoulder, and they're probably sitting on the bench, but not him. Like he. I mean, does anybody epitomize Cleveland more than he does? Gritty, tough.
Pretty tough kid. Yeah. I mean, look at his rookie year. He got hurt and he played.
Yeah.
I remember he went out of bounds and kind of slid on like a marker and hurt his knee, kept playing.
Yeah.
He, I think he also hurt a shoulder, hurt something his rookie year. Second year, you know, he was banged up his second year. Last year, cracked ribs. I mean, and those are like cracked ribs are a nagging injury. Like that doesn't heal.
No, look at Tua. He's out.
Yeah, you can't come back from that. The two things like ribs and groin injuries, they just don't heal.
Yeah,
They
agreed.
take forever. They take months to heal. And a guy like Baker who's going to get hit every game, he's going to feel that every game. It's like getting to a car accident numerous times a game. And on top of broken ribs. That is very tough. And you know, and then on top of it, he goes 19 for 21.
Yeah.
That might have been, I mean, honestly, I don't even remember Kosar doing. I remember Testaverde going like 20, like 21 or 22 for 24 one time. But I mean, that is, and it was the one interception and another incompletion. I can't even remember the other incompletion.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got to tell you, the interesting thing, his first touchdown pass of the year, which, I mean, he gets credit for a touchdown pass, but really that Demetric Felton kid is, I mean, my God.
Yeah. You know what the best part of that was? I was up in the concourse when he scored. Laura texted me. It was like, "Oh, you just missed an amazing touchdown run." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me."
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
you
missed it.
missed it.
I missed it.
Well, the good news is I think you're probably going to have an opportunity to see many more because that kid just, I mean, he willed himself into the end zone. He was that he should not have gotten into the end zone.
Yeah, that was it. It was amazing. I was actually I was washing my hands in the bathroom, and I heard the end of the call, and I'm like, who scored? And the guy next to me is like, the Browns. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I understand we scored. I'm like, who? Does it matter? I'm like, I mean, in the grand scope of things, no, it doesn't matter. But for me, I would like to know like which player scored.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny.
The Browns.
The Browns. No shit.
Yeah. Jeez. Thanks for nothing. Should I just Google it? I mean, what do you want me to do here? Yeah, but that Felton kid, he's almost like that utility guy. I don't know how good a wide receiver he is. Let's be honest. I don't know. I think he can catch, but even the best running backs typically would not qualify unless you're Eric Metcalf, where you can transition from running back to wide receiver. It's very rare that happens, right? So I don't know how good he is, but I will tell you that we got to figure out a way to continue to get him the ball. You know, just like we did the reverse to Schwartz to try to get him the ball and move, just like last year we were doing the reverse stuff with OBJ and just trying to put the ball in his hands. Because when you put the ball in the hands of the best players, of the most skilled, good things typically happen. All right, so we got to figure out more ways to get him involved. But at the end of the day, you know, we are a running team. And Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are scary. And I feel bad for anybody who had Chubb in fantasy because, you know, Janovich stole one of his touchdowns. But, and then Baker, you know, ran in for the other, which has got to be frustrating. But my God, Nick Chubb is I said this in the beginning. Nick Chubb is a Hall of Famer. We have a Hall of Fame running back on our team, and if he wasn't splitting, if Kareem Hunt was on another team, he'd be starting. He'd be starting for half the league. Kareem Hunt, right?
Yeah.
We have Hall of Fame offensive linemen. We have Hall of Fame wide receivers. I think we have very serviceable tight ends, and we have got a quarterback who's got as much toughness as I've seen any quarterback in the modern era. And he's playing pretty well. I think the rub with Baker though, so far, and this is how it's felt for me, it's not that interceptions happen. Because every quarterback's throwing interceptions. Tom Brady's throwing interceptions. Pat Mahomes threw an interception. It comes down to the situation when it comes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Is the thing. If we're up by 2 scores and an interception happens or something like that, we need it. When he threw the interception against Kansas City, it was obviously a game-sealing interception. When he threw it against the Texans, it was a momentum shifting, and we were going to almost put the knockout punch in.
Yeah.
And it got him back in the game. And if Tyrod doesn't tweak, his hamstring, I mean, we may be 0-2 right now. As bad as
they
that
would have
was.
had to turn it on. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I honestly did not. I mean, I saw some adjustment in the second half, but not that many. So it's going to be really interesting. You saw that Justin Fields is got the nod, right?
Yeah, it's official. I mean, they should wreak havoc on him, and obviously he's a great talent. There's no question about it. He can beat you with the arm. He can beat you with the legs,
and he will.
Yeah, and he will. But I think that, I mean, he's a rookie as well, and he's going to make mistakes. And this has to be the game where we capitalize on those mistakes.
Well, I'm looking back to all of the Justin Fields action in preseason and on. First preseason game, he was 14 of 20, 142 and a touchdown, no interceptions. Also ran for a touchdown in that game, first game. The Bills, the second game, Justin Fields is I did not want to click. I did not want to click that. The Justin Fields was 9 of 19, no touchdowns, no interceptions, four carries for 46 yards. I mean, he is going to be dangerous on the ground. This is the third week in a row where we have an elusive quarterback. And, oh, by the way, we got to play the fastest quarterback in NFL history twice again this year, who's still doing he's still up to his bag of tricks.
This would be the game that if we don't see Jock and Delpit, I would say, spying him, then I don't know what Joe Woods is doing. Because this is, game 3. The kids have gotten some reps, Jock more than Delpit. It's time to to see what you got, because come the deep fall, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna need somebody to spy, the Lamars and the Mahomes of the league. Because I mean, let's face it, I'm not. I like the Bills. The Bills are good, but if you had to ask me what it comes down to, I'm looking at 3 teams come the end of the year, and it's the 3 I just mentioned. That I think those, one of them is, is going to come out of the AFC. I think.
Squabbling, my CBS feed. Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta said we have Mike Ristano, one half of the Browns Wednesday show, in the stands. I implore you, please respect his privacy. Dog pound. One wonders where Killy is. Man, if I heard that come out of either of the Gumbels' mouths, Bryant or Greg.
I forgot about Bryant.
Do you remember the Family Guy skit where they had to show Gumbel to Gumbel?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Anyway, back to the Justin Fields conversation. Another stat
Yeah.
that I found interesting. Last week against the Bengals' lowly defense, he went 6 of 13, 60 yards, 1 interception, rushed 10 times for 31 yards for an average of 3.1 yards. So the Bengals like kept him in check. Now, I'm sure he didn't get all the reps on with the first team. Probably split many of them with the Red Rocket, but so he'll have a little bit more time to prepare. But if we don't, so let's just say the barometer right now for the Bears and Justin Fields, because the Bears in week 1 scored 14 points in a loss to the LA Rams. Then they scored 20 points in a win. If they score above 20 points, that tells me that we have a worse defense than the Bengals and the Rams. And the Rams, put them aside. If we have a worse defense than the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in a complete rebuild, who drafted a wide receiver this year, then I think we are in deep, deep trouble. And so far, I'll tell you this, guys. I will put this out there. This team, this is not a championship team because of the defense. This is a championship offense, 100%. Championship, Super Bowl caliber offense that I would put against any team in the league any week. But this defense is so bad on third down. We are we might be the worst. We might be the worst in the league on third down.
But you know what's funny is if you look at the defensive standings overall, you know who's like 7 spots below us and like hanging out at the bottom of the league?
The Ravens.
The Chiefs and the Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens have given up 734 points.
They're like the 27th ranked defense or something like that. Which you know what? Everybody is giving them some stuff in the chat. But hey, if you're a Ravens fan and you want to spend the Wednesday show and the Wednesday night with yours truly and Mike talking about the Browns, hey, we're doing something right?
Yeah, I mean we're definitely we're living in their head rent free, as they say. But I am concerned. And I think that this weekend he has got to put this he's got to perform.
Maybe this is the week that they put the blowout together and you didn't see it coming. And it makes next week a nice, enjoyable, relaxing, back on the train kind of week.
Well, I sure hope so, because I don't think
I'm very positive tonight, aren't I?
You're doing, you're a lot more positive than I am.
Yeah, it's very unlike me.
You're very positive. Maybe it's like you still got some of that Cleveland air that's like going through your lungs, right from last week.
I got the Victory Wednesday mug. I mean, I'm
you haven't washed it off yet.
I can put my dog face on. I mean, I'm ready.
Well, I'm looking at, here's the thing. So we have to win this game because we got the Vikings coming in. We got to go to the Vikings. I'm sorry, after that. And the Vikings can score points. And if we don't have it figured out by October 3rd, we are in a situation where we could see another 40-point game giving up on defense because the Vikings can score and they're going to chew up this amateur soft zone that we play. They're going to chew it. They're going to eat it alive. Kirk Cousins is not, he's one of those quarterbacks who just, they end up, the Vikings lose games, but Kirk Cousins puts up numbers, right? So it's concerning. After this Bears game, we got Vikings who can score, Chargers who can score, look at the quarterbacks here. You got Kirk Cousins, Herbert, Kyler Murray. Boom, boom, boom. Those are 3 quarterbacks who can score points. Then you've got Teddy Bridgewater in Denver, who, I mean, he's serviceable. I'm not afraid of him, but he's serviceable. Then we get the Halloween game with Ben.
I know I'm overly positive.
I'm concerned.
And I know, I figured you would be, but I don't know. I can't believe that Joe Woods is that bad, and he's not going to throw some wrinkles in there. I don't know. I think we're going to be okay. I think they surprise you on Sunday. I think you're going to be smiling big.
I hope so, because this is a game. I'm going into this game expecting a victory. So I have the expectations.
so.
Expectations are high. Do we know what the line is on the game yet? What is the betting line?
I don't know, but we can't forget to do the offense, because then
Yeah,
that'll
let's
be 2 weeks in a
let's
row.
continue that on.
We'll just go through it quick.
Let's go.
Well,
Yeah.
you find the line
Okay, so we're
and-
we're a 7-point favorite
at home.
at home. So
I wonder.
which is a little bit above the normal home field advantage.
Yeah, interesting to see where that line goes as the week plays out. What was the final line? It was 10, right? It was 12.5 to start the week, and then it closed out at 10, I believe, for the Houston game. And then for the tinfoil hats out there, the spread was 10, and Houston missed that kick late. So I thought that was interesting. But
Yeah.
if we go to the offensive grades, Felton was 1.
Hold on, before the offensive grades, because
Yeah.
I don't want to forget about this.
Yep.
Well, I want to give away the Victory Monday mug.
Yes.
Let's give away the
that'd be
mug.
worse than forgetting the offense.
Yes, exactly. So let's go ahead and give away the mug.
Oh, it's exciting.
All right, 1 to 100. Now for the Victory Monday mug. All right, go guys. Type in one number, 1 to 100. My number is in, and you guys are good to go
Oh, this is good.
with the Victory Monday mug.
Somebody is going to be enjoying a nice morning beverage come Monday morning.
Now, I
well,
will
not this Monday. It's going to take a little while for the shipping, but
Exactly, I was going to say that.
we've got many victories coming.
So with the Victory Monday mug, and they may not ship as fast as like Sabo does, and BCI, you've got a shirt coming too.
That's right.
So just so you know, like be patient. With last year, remember last year when Santino won, and
Yeah.
it took him like I felt like it took him like 6 weeks to get his damn mug.
It really did. And then we were waiting for David's mug to get down to the land down
Australia.
under. Yeah.
It was like what, $25 to ship it down there. Like, it's just how ridiculous that was. We end up, remember we split the cost of that.
Yeah. Fly Guy's just having a blast out there in the chat.
Fly guy.
Nobody talks about that first Super Bowl being ours, but that's okay. The purple browns, as I like to call them.
It's funny.
What I always found funny about Baltimore, just to go on a tangent here for a second, but
Yes.
man, they cried and cried when Baltimore, when the Colts left in the middle of a cold evening, right? Cried.
Oh yeah.
And then when they stole our team, it was like they forgot all about that, right? But
So the number was 11. So I think we have a playoff. I'm looking at it here.
Ooh, who had 11?
Karen Fry and B Skrills had 10 and 12.
Oh, so we got to do it again. So this is like sudden death.
So it's sudden death overtime.
Ah, this is good. Oh, text me the number so I could see what it is, so I could really be on the
Okay, let me text you.
on the front line.
Let me
here.
I'm gonna text you the number.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go.
Hold on, let me look.
Karen
All
and
right. That's a good one.
I just want to
Should
make
we let
sure.
them go for like a minute or so and then take the last one?
Why don't we do this? So I'll go. So Karen. So like Karen versus Skrills.
Oh, this is good.
1-200 go. Okay, put in one number, Karen and B Skrills. You get one number. So go ahead and put it in now. And
This is kind of better than the PFF scores. I have to tell you,
it's fun, right?
it's exciting. Yeah.
Okay, so Karen's in with 57. We'll wait for B Skrills and see what he's going to go higher than that or lower than that. Because honestly, he could just do 58 and take the higher numbers, or he could take 56 and have a better chance to win statistically.
Yeah.
So he went with 25, which would have made me have to do the math. The number was 4. So B Skrills is the winner of the Victory Monday mug. Congratulations, B Skrills.
Congrats. That was fun.
B Skrills, send me an email. You may have won in the past. I'd have to go back and check, but I'm not going to dig through my emails. So B Skrills, send me an email, browniepostgame@gmail.com with your address, please. And we will get you your mug, hopefully out to you as soon as possible. Most likely will not be by Monday. But it might. Who knows?
Yeah. Stranger things have happened.
Who knows? And it also probably depends on where you live. B Skrills, where do you live? If you're in Ohio, I think there'd probably be a
Netherlands.
chance. Yeah, there are people that are in chat right now who who live outside of the country that I learned recently with Ara living outside the country.
He's not giving up the goods yet. We need to know where are you?
Yeah, B Skrills. Just give it. You don't have to tell us the name, or if you don't feel comfortable, but I would like to know if you're at least in Ohio. All right, so let's go to the offensive PFFs. Let's rip through them so we can, and let's start off with the offensive line.
All right. So we need to go down to. So you heard me.
B Skrills is in Cleveland Heights.
Oh my God! I think you're drinking out of that Monday morning.
You might have a shot. Do they have a?
Yeah.
Do they have like a local store? I'm sure they have a local store in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, right
Cleveland
on. Right in off of Euclid, I believe.
B Skrills, you should just go into the store and be like, I won the mug on the Wednesday show.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
If you do that, let me know, and I will. I'll give him a heads up that you're going to just walk in and get it. Anyway, continue.
So I already gave away number 1, and I mean, he scored a touchdown. He played 3 plays, so obviously he's going to be a 98.7, and that was Demetric Felton. So if we go to the offensive line, if we look at, wow, there's an interesting score here, by the way, but number 6 is Wyatt Teller with a 72.9 overall grade.
It's a great grade.
57 in the pass block, 72.6 in the run block.
Solid.
Jack Conklin comes in at 9, 64.5 overall, 72.
When you're saying 9, what do you mean by what do you mean?
Ninth ranked of the offense.
Okay.
So yeah, so Teller was the 6th ranked, 6th best player.
Conk was 9.
Conk's 9. So 1 and 2 so far in the order of O linemen. Conklin, he had a solid 72.2 in the pass block, 66.5 in the run block. Still green. You got Jed coming in as the next offensive lineman in your 11th ranked PFF offensive grade. You had him at a 63.3 overall, 61.4 on the pass block, 61.9 on the run block. So at least he is consistent. You've got Hance, who played 18 snaps at left tackle, and I didn't even realize that. I'll be quite honest with you.
I didn't either.
Yeah, he 63.2, 79.3 overall pass block, 57.8 run block, which I have to tell you, I'll take that for a backup left tackle.
All day.
Yeah, playing 18 snaps, 6 pass blocking snaps, and 12 run blocking. Shredder comes right in after 60.4 overall, 82.5 pass block, 55 in the run block. And surprisingly enough, Joel Bitonio, he's your I don't want to say last ranked, but last ranked offensive lineman, 58.8, 85.8 on the pass block, 52.1 on the run block. He had 32 snaps, run block, and 29 pass block. And that rounds out your offensive line. Jarvis was the second ranked, but that's because he had that one nice, he had that one nice play, and then he got hurt. He only played 2 plays.
Yeah.
Bryant was third. He had a really nice game, 85 overall, 79.4 in the passing game, 70.7 on the pass block. So that's nice to see out there on the wing, and 70 for run block. So yeah, very, very nice score. The Batman comes in at 4 with a 76.6 overall, 54.5 in the pass, weird 3.1 score in the pass block.
That is weird.
Bizarre to me. I don't know how
that's like an abysmal failure at pass.
Yeah, I don't even know how it's possible, because it shows no pass blocking snaps for Chubb. So that's a weird score. I don't know what formulated that, but anyway, 84.1 in the run, and 60 in the pass or run block rather. Hooper had a solid game, 74.9 overall, 71.3 in the passing game, 65.9 pass blocking, solid, and 67.8 in run block, which again is a solid score. Then you had Teller, then you have Baker, 66.1, 73.2 passing, and he played 61 snaps. So you figure he's probably halfway when he hurt his shoulder. So
Yeah.
He gutted it out, solid. And Njoku comes in at a 65.1, 62.6 in the pass, 64.6 in the run block. I was surprised that when you look at the snap count, they were all, relatively even. Hooper was at 42, Njoku was 36, and Bryant was 31.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised, because I thought that that we'd see a little bit more of David in the pass game, but it didn't. You know what's funny, Mike? You said earlier, it's funny because this just came back to me. You had said earlier that you couldn't remember the second incompletion.
Right.
They were coming left to right towards the dog pound on your TV, and it was a miscommunication with David and Baker. Remember that it was just thrown nowhere. It was like 15 yards over. So either Baker read it wrong, or Njoku stopped his route. But I do remember that play. That was the other incompletion.
I have to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back and watched. Did you get the all 22, by the way?
So here's the weird thing.
Yeah, this is always like a point of drama. Is the all 22?
Yeah. So the NFL promised that I mean, I say promised as a as a strong word, but they came out on record, we'll say, and said that the all 22 would be back by the regular season start, and it's not there yet. I did find out from a friend that if you go through a like if you get an app where you can go through like a VPN from another country, the international NFL.com Game Pass has the all 22. However, when I go to put my code in that I already paid for the American version, it doesn't translate over, so I can't even use it.
Oh.
So how frustrating is that? That we live here and we can't even get the all 22, but if you live outside of the US, you can get it.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, that's been frustrating because I'm trying to go back and watch games and it's just not the same watching the the TV view.
yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched an all 22. So I don't know even what the experience is like on that. I'd like to
Oh, you when it comes back or I figure it out, we'll have a Mike and Mike film study session. We'll pick a day
that'd
before
be awesome.
like Tuesday. We'll do our Ryan Burlow's taking off. See you there.
Yep. See you, Ryan. See you, Ryan. We're probably gonna wrap up here in a second anyway. So
Yeah.
it's probably a good idea to do that. But
Yeah, so
Any
that was
ch-
pretty much the scores. Yeah, there was nothing surprising. Schwartz rounded out the bottom. He was a 44-5. He played 30 snaps, and Donovan Peoples-Jones played 46 snaps, which I don't know what's going on there. I thought, yeah, I know it's only 2 weeks, but I thought he'd have a ton more, not only catches, but he would have been more of an impact, especially with OBJ out. And we just haven't seen that. It's really peculiar. Like I was expecting him to break out and be challenging for a ton of playing time, but just hasn't happened yet.
I like DPJ,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to be a good player. I don't see superstar. I see really good player. I don't see him rising to the Jarvis or Odell level. I just don't see that. So I think he can be a serviceable. I think he's definitely a good player, starter quality guy. But yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he can get there, but and from what I've seen so far, and that fumble that he had, I mean, I just wanted to punch my screen
Yeah,
when I
you know
saw
what?
that happen.
You mentioned that earlier, and I totally forgot all about that. We were driving, right? It was on their side of the field.
Yeah, again, it was another. It was very similar to the Chubb fumble in the first
Yeah.
game. It was a gut punch type turnover. Whereas if you remember last year, we were murdering it with the turnovers. We were like plus 17 or something.
Yeah, you're
stupid.
right. Yeah, yep.
And this year, it's not gone that way, which is just unfortunate because really in the NFL, it doesn't really matter what team you're playing. If you lose that turnover battle, especially against good teams, forget it. Like, you're not going to win that game.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, guys, I think we had fun tonight. We're at about a little over an hour and a half. So this is a good time to call it for the Wednesday this week. Congratulations, B Skrills, on your mug. And thanks everybody for joining. Thanks also to DF Sports for his super chat, $10 super chat. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And everybody who happens to be in chat or anybody watching the VOD, head over to DF Sports on YouTube. Just search for him and shoot him a subscription. He's a buddy and he's trying to build up his presence, and it'd be awesome if we can help support him. I feel like he's part of the Brownie postgame family. So let's get him. Let's bring it in. So, thanks guys. And we shall be back in we'll be back on Sunday for the pregame at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Mike, since you're not going to the game, are you available for?
I shall be popping in,
Okay.
most definitely. And oh wow, look at that! Who knew I was my little emoji was going to be?
The emoji has finally made its presence known.
I was wondering. Aura, you're the man.
And we got Rick Adkins as well, who's joined the chat. Rick, what's going on, my buddy? So yeah, guys. So great. Well, Mike. So we'll see you for the pregame.
Yeah, I'll pop on the post game too. You know what?
Beautiful.
I have to say before we go, I'm so sad that it's over because I really, really, as you do as well, and guys in the chat, girls, you know, this is something that really, I mean, gets the two of us fired up as we head towards Wednesday. So I'm everybody have a great rest of the week. Go Browns on Sunday, and I can't wait to see everybody again next Wednesday, and I'll see you on Sunday and in the pre and post. So I'm excited to join you and your dad.
Excellent. Well, my dad will be here again because he was supposed to move into his house, the new house, on Thursday. That got pushed till Tuesday. So he'll be in a hotel, but he's obviously going to come by for the game. So we'll get him set up. My dad will be here. We'll get to watch the game. We'll do the pregame show. 11, probably go live about 11 o'clock in the morning. And we'll go to about noon or maybe a little bit later than that, as we usually do, about an hour for the pregame. And then we'll be back on, hopefully being 2-1 after the Chicago Bears. So thank you guys very much. And we'll see you on Sunday. Go Browns.
Go Brownies.